Welcome back, beautiful souls. You are watching my Becoming Supernatural readings by Dr. Joe Dispenza. The book is by Dr. Joe Dispenza, not my readings. But I'm your girl, Brittany. Hey, your manifesting mentor. I'm not a coach, I'm not a guru, but I'm a woman who walks the walk and who shares what works. So today we're wrapping up chapter 13 with part 5. This is where Dr. Joe introduces Project Coherence. It's a revolutionary approach to healing the world by first healing ourselves. So, in this final section, Dr. Joe shares the origin and impact of Project Coherence, a series of global meditation experiments where participants across the world simultaneously tuned into elevated emotions like love, peace, and compassion with the intention of improving conditions in specific areas. So, he highlights the measurable shifts that took place during these events, changes in local crime rates, energy fields, and even the emotional states of people not participating in the meditation. So the effects, he explains, aren't just anecdotal. They're backed by scientific data showing that the human body, when in a coherent state, becomes a transmitter of healing energy. He also shares the Project Coherence meditation, which is a practice designed to help you join the global effort. He also uses this in his Walk for the World meditations, but it combines breath work, heart focused awareness, and elevated emotion. And you're not just transforming your inner state, you're helping to raise the energy of the planet. Without further ado, let's get into it. Project Coherence. In collaboration with the Heart Math Institute, we performed numerous experiments whereby we took a small random sampling of about 50 to 75 people at our advanced workshops, attached HRV monitors to their chests, and placed them in the front row of the room for 3 meditations over the course of 24 hours. Since HRV not only provides insight into the coherence of the heart, but also gives us information about the brain and emotions, we wanted to measure subjects' HRV for a full 24 hours. To start the meditation, everyone in the room placed their attention on their heart center and began breathing through this center slowly and deeply, as you learned to do in chapter 7. Next, oh, we lost the light. We lost the light, but you know what? We're going to keep it going. Sorry, guys. This is a reading. Don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to the words. He says, next, they cultivated and sustained an elevated emotion for 2 to 3 minutes, broadening their heart's electromagnetic fields and moving from a state of selfishness to a state of selflessness. Then we had the collective of 550 to 1,500 students broadcast the energy of their elevated emotions beyond their bodies into the space of the entire room. Next, we had them lay the intentional thought in that frequency for the greatest good of the students sitting in front of the room wearing the HRV monitors, that their lives be enriched, their bodies be healed, and mystical experiences find them. Our goal was to measure the collective energy in the room and its potential non local effect on the people wearing the HRV monitors. Could those elevated levels of energy and frequency in the form of love, gratitude, wholeness, and joy cause another person's heart to go into coherence, even if they were on the other side of the room? Our results confirmed our hypothesis. Not only did the broadcast not only did the broadcast energy produce a coherent effect on the people wearing the HRV monitors, but each of their hearts went into coherence at the exact same time, in the exact same meditation, on the exact same day. And this was not a one-time occurrence. We repeatedly found consistent results across our events. What does this mean? Our data supports the HeartMath Global Coherence Initiative's belief that an invisible field exists upon which information is communicated. This field links and influences all living systems as well as our collective human consciousness. Because of this field, information is communicated non locally between people at a subconscious level through the autonomic nervous system. In other words, we are bound and connected by an invisible field of energy, and this energy field can affect everyone's behaviors, emotional states, and conscious and unconscious thoughts. So, this is why we talk about thought transmission. This is why we talk about circumstances not mattering, because as you change internally, your energy is now influencing others. as well. Because all frequency carries information, the magnetic fields produced in the hearts of the student body acted as carrier waves for this information. If at our workshops we can produce non local effects on others, shouldn't our elevated heart centered emotions be able to produce non local effects on our children, partners, co-workers, or anyone we have a relationship or share a connection with? This part of the chapter is for my people who always talk about manifesting specific people romantically, whether it's your siblings, your parents, you want a specific dynamic with somebody. You change from the inside, and guess what? Externally, it gets reflected. Because why? Because scientifically, we are being shown that we all exist in the same pool of a field of information, and we get to influence each other energetically. Thoughts are energy, emotions are energy and motion. All right, we done. So if you look at figure 13.3, you notice 17 people going into heart coherence at the exact same time on the exact same day during the exact same meditation. All of these students who went into heart coherence were being entrained by the energy of others. The students sending the energy embraced the intention for the greatest good of those people wearing the heart rate monitors. The results show that when we get out of our own way, we can become one mind and non-locally connected to one another. Through that connection, we can influence the autonomic nervous system of others so they will feel more balanced, coherent, and whole. Imagine what could happen if you had thousands of people all doing the same for the entire world. This is what we're doing, y'all. Becoming supernatural is huge to the people that commit to this work. It's huge. It has huge implications. I need you to know that. It's not just a book. This is not just one of those books. I feel like this is one of the most important books of our existence. Just saying. Because the collective teachings in this book alone, yes, it bridges science and spirituality, but I don't know another book that's as transformative as this, that's as practical as this for you to implement literally Christ consciousness, Christ teachings, and all the teachings that all the great masters that religions have been built around are encompassed in this book, but it's packed in a way that kicks out the religious dogma, brings in the data, and makes it tangible and gives you practical steps to follow. Just saying. And the hardest part is to make the time to do it. All right. He says all of these students who went into heart coherence were being entrained by the energy of others. The students sending the energy embraced the intention for the greatest good of those people wearing the heart rate monitors. The results show that when we get out of our own way, we can become one mind and non locally connect to one another. Through that connection, we can influence the autonomic nervous system of others so they will feel more balanced, coherent, and whole. Imagine what could happen if you had thousands of people all doing the same for the entire world. Shortly after these global meditation events, our students began sending us emails asking that since we showed that we could indeed create a measurable change in the energy of the room where 550 to 1,500 people were gathered, could we then produce the same effect on a global scale? So when so it was our students who requested we organize global meditations, giving birth to Project Coherence. We broadcast our first Project Coherence over Facebook in November 2015 with more than 6,000 people from all over the world joining together online to collectively create a more loving and peaceful world. In our second meditation, more than 36,000 online viewers participated. And in our third global meditation, more than 43,000 joined forces. It is our intention to continue to host these Project Coherence events, each time creating a stronger, radiating influence of peace and love over the planet. In time, we hope to measure these effects. And so now this is Project Coherence meditation. So you start by acknowledging your heart center. With focus and awareness, lock into that center. Open your focus and begin to become aware of the space it occupies in space, as well as the space around the space your heart occupies in space. Then Move as a thought and an awareness into the center of the earth and radiate your light beyond the earth in space. All I want you to do is raise your frequency and hold on to that emotion. Still, as a consciousness and awareness, slowly move away from the earth and then take the earth as a thought and place it in your heart. As you hold the entire planet in your heart, raise the frequency of the earth as a thought and broadcast that energy beyond your body in space. Radiate your love into the earth. This chapter beautifully reminds us that we're not doing this work in isolation. As you can recall, Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops alone have thousands of people attend at once, usually like 1,500 to 2,000 people. And he has them multiple times throughout the year. And then there are people who've never even been to the workshops. And I'm sure that number is even greater than the people who've attended the workshops. People reading the book, people here on my playlist, me, I've never been to a workshop, but I do this work and I know the effects. I don't need a workshop. I heard another creator talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it in my live. But the workshops are usually a mixed bag. It's usually people who still have a lot of lack in them and they need to be validated by being around others so that they can have proof of what they're capable of. And then there are those who know who they are and trust the work, but they just want to deepen their practice. And so they show up as well. What I feel like is if you're at home, you can do the same. You can show up the same way that those people who know who they are, who've built the trust because they've done the work, feel into the knowingness and just continue to evolve your practice and continue to evolve your day-to-day life, because the choices that you make in everyday life is really the indication of your change. It's not this big overhaul of manifestations coming in all at once. Sometimes it's the breakdown of past energies that got to go, and it's how you start to think differently and see your life differently and see the people in your life differently and start responding differently to them. Start responding, instead of responding to a bill with lack and fear, you respond to the bill with trust and abundance that you know that it's going to get handled. Like instead of reacting to your partner with frustration, you respond to them in love because you understand that they're coming from their own pattern and you don't have to react the same way. So it's the little incremental choices that allow you to show up and be, that is being supernatural. Anyways, your personal transformation has the power to contribute to global healing, y'all. It's not just about you, it's about what you can contribute. So, in the next chapter, we're going to explore the science and mysticism of the pineal gland, which is actually, no, I lied. In the next chapter, we're actually going to dive into case studies. Um, is He's basically sharing various stories of how different mystical experiences, miraculous healings, coherence healings, it could happen to you. He gives, I don't, I'm looking at how many different examples. Divine, can you hear me? Janet hears, you are mine. Connected beyond time and space by love. Donna helps souls cross over. Like people who are living mystical lives because of doing this work, that it opened up different channels for them, not just their manifestations and incremental improvements, but some of them may even have like heightened sensitivities in terms of like their natural abilities. Maybe it's clairvoyance, maybe it's you know um, being able to be more intuitive, so on and so forth. But anyways, thank you for joining me so far. Sorry my light went out, but I'm determined to get this video out, and I will see you in the final chapter, chapter 14. But in the meantime, on Friday to discuss parts 4 and 5, and then following that, chapter 14 next week. So we're almost there, y'all. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you in the next video.